I had a dissection at the top of my right coronary artery. It went all the way down the arch and all the way down to my iliacs, and thankfully not any further. But I had the emergency surgery there, recovered there in South Dakota, and wasn't doing very well. And the doctors were telling me that, you know, this is just part of healing. You're going to get better. They even told me I'd be back to work in a couple of months, and I believed them. You know, I mean, they just saved my life. So I said, well, okay, you guys know what's going on. I followed the directions. They put me in cardiac rehab, and I just wasn't doing very well. My wife and I had learned about Dr. Scholimer by moving in to where we live now by our next door neighbor, and she knew that he took care of patients like that. So we got in the Jeep and we drove all the way from South Dakota all the way to Orem, Utah here, and met with Dr. Scholimer. And an odd thing happened. They called us halfway here and said, we don't know why we're calling you, but basically, are you okay? And I said, well, no, we're trying to get there. And they said, well, be very careful, because they were reading my records. They kind of understood. And it impressed me then that they seemed to care about me. I had lost my quality of life with the first surgery. I had survived it, but my quality of life was gone. With Dr. Scholimer and what happened here at this hospital, I actually retained my quality of life. It's a little different. I can't ride horses anymore and that sort of thing. Now I've got a Jeep, you know, doing it that way. But my quality of life didn't decline. I just had to adapt a little bit. He's a guy that really cares. His staff and him, even before we had met, on the drive over here, I already got that feeling, you know, that he definitely was worried about me. You know, he could kind of tell from my records that what I'd gone through, and they were concerned about the ride in the Jeep. And you know, that was kind of almost like took us back. You know, we were very happy to hear someone actually care. As a professional, extremely professional, as a person, he could be anybody's uncle or grandpa. You know, I mean, he's a great guy.